Schuster Audio presents Chicken Soup for the Soul, Living Catholic Faith, 101 Stories to Offer Hope, Deepen Faith, and Spread Love. By Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Leanne Thimmon. Read by James Anderson Foster and Nancy Lenari.
To Bernice and Paul Duello, who not only taught me about the Catholic faith, but by their actions, how to truly live it. And to all Catholics who change the world as real disciples of Christ by authentically living their faith. Forward. Jesus Christ spoke, "And so I say to you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." Matthew chapter 16, verse 18. Beginning at that moment, Peter, Paul, Luke, and other disciples began sharing their stories to build his church, proclaim their faith, and to share it with others. Now, more than 2,000 years later, nearly 1,000 Catholics did the same as they contributed stories for Chicken Soup for the Soul, Living Catholic Faith. These positive, powerful stories of God's unconditional love show the role the Church plays in their personal and professional lives. This collection of humorous, poignant, faith-filled stories from people of all ages deepens the convictions of cradle Catholics and ignites the passion for newer members of our church family. Heartwarming and hope-filled, these stories will lift up your spirits and nourish your souls as they express what it means to be Catholic. Savor each story and find inspiration and healing in each message. Draw strength from your fellow Catholics as you practice these lessons of faith, hope, and love. Together, we Catholics, like Peter and Paul, will continue our calling to share our stories of trust in God, to nurture and uphold one another. It is with great joy, pride, and humility that we are privileged to share with you Chicken Soup for the Soul, Living Catholic Faith.
Chapter 1. On Love. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. John chapter 15, verse 12. 1. Just 1 minute, young man. No language can express the power and beauty and heroism and majesty of a mother's love. Edwin Hubble Chapin. It's been called the $20,000 breakfast. At least that's what we'd heard. After scrimping and saving and tweaking our budget, we had come up with the $5,000 per year tuition to send our son to St. Paul's High School, a Jesuit educational institution. On the Friday before Mother's Day of the graduation year, moms are treated to a morning of celebration. Although it was quite hush-hush, we had heard whispers about it from other moms who had been there. We had an idea of what to expect, but still, we were not prepared. Gather 150 young men of 17 and 18 years on a hot and humid May day, dress them up in their finest attire, stuff them into a crowded, non-air-conditioned auditorium to sit beside their moms for more than 3 hours. It's bound to be interesting. The morning began with a celebration service, a rose, and a tissue packet for each mom. Each boy, big, strapping football players, small, late bloomers, smart kids, challenging kids, quiet kids, crossed the archway to manhood. Each had 1 minute with the microphone. 1 minute to look into his mother's eyes and tell her what was in his heart. 1 minute to condense his entire lifetime into words that would last a lifetime. Just 1 minute to bare his soul in front of 300 others. Some boys had been up all night searching for the perfect words. Some had been working on this for months. All were stressed, nervous, and more than a little petrified. We moms felt their anxiety, and it started to rub off on us. Everyone took pity on the poor boy who had to go first. With sweaty palms and a quivering voice, he began and set the wheel in motion. One by one, each boy stood with his mother, introduced her by name, and began. Many boys started with, "This is my beautiful mom." That was enough to set the waterworks flowing for most of us. I listened intently to each boy. "Mom, I didn't really want to go to this school when all my friends were going to regular school. But Mom, I am so glad you made me come here. I will send my own son here too. Mom, I have worked for months on this speech and I can't stop crying long enough to read it to you. Mom, thank you for years and years of packing my lunches. Mom, thanks for not packing my lunches, for not doing everything for me so I can be a capable adult. Thank you, Mom, for the thousands of miles of driving you've done." Others went on to thank their mothers for giving up the best piece of chicken and the biggest slice of cake. Some said they were sorry for late nights and missed curfews, for not being respectful, or for the bedrooms and bathrooms left in various states of disrepair. Some dug out wrinkled papers from their suit pockets. Some just spoke from the heart. Some sang a song written especially for the day. Others crooned the songs their mothers had sung to them as children. One young man started to sing "You Are My Sunshine," but couldn't get through it. Still, he wouldn't let go of the microphone or his mom until he choked out every last word. It was absolutely gut-wrenching to watch. I felt privy to the most intimate moment a mother and son could share. Some boys read prose. Some read their own poetry expressly written for this day. Some recited quotes, and some just cried and barely uttered a word. How could it be that each moment seemed frozen in time, yet went by in such a blur? Each boy's speech was unique and beautiful, poignant and sincere. Each one perfect. Never had I heard the word mommy used by so many grown boys, unapologetically, unabashed, uninhibited, even surrounded by all their peers. Some draped over their moms' shoulders as they choked out the words that had been buried for so long. I love yous that hadn't been said, and hugs too infrequently shared. Each boy, child, man who spoke was raw, honest, and genuine. And each mother listening must have felt her heart either skip a beat or stop beating altogether. The moms spoke no words that morning. Mouthing "I love you" was about the most we could muster. Besides, this was not our day to speak. It was our day to listen. Just listen. Soon you came to realize that it was not just what your son was saying to you that was important. These boys were speaking to mothers everywhere, on behalf of boys everywhere. They were speaking for the boys who could not find the words or the courage or the right time or the right place. They were speaking for those who wanted to forgive, who wanted to say, "I'm sorry," who wanted to move their relationship forward, who wanted to start fresh, who wanted to tell their moms they were their mentors, their guides. It was a thank you given for things that can never, ever be repaid by boys who understand that to be God's truth. Then my son stood. "Mom, we exchange I love yous and hugs and stuff all the time, but I want to say in front of everybody how much I love you. You have always been there for me and always believed in me and always encouraged me not to settle for less than I deserve or am capable of. He swallowed hard. You are my rock, Mom. I willed myself not to cradle him in my arms and rock him. The sacrifices that each family had made to send their sons for a Catholic education, whether financial or social, most likely both, the questioning and wondering if we were doing the right thing, were unequivocally answered on this beautiful day in May. After 151 minutes were up, everyone gathered in the schoolyard to pray together and plant a tree in honor of the growth and personal development these boys had experienced. The event is over. Words have been forgotten. New memories and milestones are being achieved. But the depth of feelings, the emotional and spiritual connections of that day will be remembered forever. The $20,000 breakfast was a bargain in my book. Stephanie Staples. 2. The Twinkie. Amen, I say to you, unless you become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. It was my 7th year teaching first grade. I was teaching at the parochial school I had attended, associated with the church I went to my whole life. One little girl from that class, Abby, had immigrated recently from Greece with her parents and grandparents. Abby was the only one in the family who could speak English, and she had to translate everything for her parents, including school notes, bills, and report cards.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.